Today we got some great stuff to talk about with you guys today.
Yes. We're going to talk about why we are choosing not to kiss until our wedding day. And we talked about this in a previous video, but we're going to talk a little bit more about it because we know it's a big topic that a lot of you probably still have questions about. So before we get into it, I'm just going to read this verse that really highlights the main reason why we are choosing to wait until our wedding day to kiss.
Yeah.
It's Songs of Solomon 8:4. This is the Tree of Life version, and it says, I charge you, daughters of Jerusalem, do not arouse or awaken love until it so delights. So other versions will say, do not awaken love until she pleases, or do not awaken love until it's the right time. So that verse is pretty much self-explanatory. Do not awaken love until it can please, until you can experience the fullness of it inside of marriage, inside of that marriage covenant. A way that we're not arousing or awakening love until it can please is we're choosing not to kiss. Kissing starts that engine, physical engine in your body, and eventually it leads to other things. And if your goal is to save sex for marriage, kissing before marriage can complicate that a little bit and make it a little harder. For example, I know some couples who, before they started dating, they said, we're going to save sex for marriage. Then they started kissing, which led to other things and eventually them having sex. And so that's why we are choosing not to kiss, because we want to protect that gift. We're defending that gift. And the way we're doing it is setting that boundary of not kissing until marriage. And I would say that not kissing until marriage is actually easier than if you were kissing.
How?
How? Why? I'm glad that you asked. How is because I think that when you do start kissing, you have to set up more boundaries than in your relationship. If you want to wait until you have sex, you have to set up, like I said, more boundaries, because then kissing will lead to other things. But for us, our main boundary is we're not going to kiss, which doesn't tempt us to do other things and eventually make it harder for us not to have sex before we're married. And so basically not kissing is easier. Once we got past those first couple of months of not doing it and it becoming a norm and a pattern for our body, it's become easier because it doesn't raise greater temptation.
Because we've already said no to that temptation multiple times.
Yeah. The number one reason why we're doing this, besides the idea of not awakening love until it can please, is because God's called us to do this. It's a commitment that we've made with each other and with God. It's not just with each other, because if we made it just with each other, we would fail. We need God to help us, Holy Spirit and Jesus to help us in this commitment, help us stay true to it. And so that's why, first of all, that's why we're doing it, and second of all, that's why we can do it, is because God's in the center of it, and it's not just between us, like we said.
Yeah, and a really cool way to look at it of how we're saving our first kiss for marriage is also seeing perseverance through your life with your relationship with God. And so when you are going through life, it is hard work. It takes dedication to stay with your faith in God and keep that relationship strong with Him, just like keeping our commitment to save our first kiss until our wedding day. And it's not like something that we're just like, okay, we're gonna get there and then it's gonna be so great. It's okay, we're gonna work through this season. We're gonna learn all these wonderful things through that season, and then that kiss or that next level of intimacy is just the icing on top. So with our relationship with God, once we do pass away from this life, we move on to a greater intimacy with Him of being fully in His presence. Cool. So it's just a really cool way to look at it and to show that, we're not just waiting until it happens. We're actually enjoying our relationship together, enjoying our relationship with God, pursuing Him, pursuing each other, and then we get there.
Yeah, we're actively engaging in the waiting.
Yeah.
Because it matters how we act in the waiting. Yeah. It does. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then also a really good question that we got from one of our viewers. They asked, what kind of responses did we get from people when we shared that we were saving our first kiss? So personally for me, being around a bunch of guys, I had a few that made jokes about it, or kind of just like, okay, like brush it off, or okay, that's cool. And I also found that there were people that were super supportive of it and just like really jacked up, like, wow, that's amazing. I'm super proud of you guys. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then we have had people that are just like, wow, I don't think I could ever do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because.
So a mixed board of responses.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter
So-
what people say, because
Right.
if you're following what God's called you to do, number one,
Yeah.
He delights in you, and He'll honor that.
Yeah, and also the goals that you set, not everybody's gonna agree with it. You just have to know
Right.
that right away. So,
Right.
but when you do find somebody that like their values align with what you value, it's awesome.
We want to encourage you that no matter what your boundary or goal is, don't worry about what other people say, because it's something that God's called you to do.
Yeah,
And
it's something He's placed on your heart.
yeah, and
Passion.
He will honor that, like I said, and reward you for following what He calls you to do.
Yeah.
So.
So thank you all for tuning in this month, and be prepared for another great message next month. We got something really special cooking up for you.
Yes, we do. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hey, guys. I was like, really? Hey, guys. Yeah. Hey, guys. Welcome back. Elmo. It's like Elmo. I'm back to defending the gift. Okay. Elmo's world. Stop. Hey.
I just.
I'm really excited about it. This one. Are you sure you?
What's up?
You say it.
What's up? Good morrow, good students and fellow citizens. And
Hello,
possible
defending the gift watchers, viewers like
internationalists.
you. Thank you. Possible internationalists. If you're internationalists, let us know in the comments below. Right down.
Oh, she's got jokes
Click
and
on
she
this
didn't
one.
even know. How's my hair look? Does it look good? Is
Yeah,
it
it looks good.
video worthy?
Okay.
Hey you guys! We're back at it in January, February. Just really want to do something.
I'm gonna
with my
start.
hands.
I'm gonna start by kissing you, because it's about kissing.
You can't